Hey everyone, Lauren from A Girl and Her Wool here. So we are going to be dyeing yarn today. You guys get to dye some yarn with me. So everybody's favorite vlog, and I'm happy to be back with another one. Today is a little bit different. So we just wrapped up the cake series. It spanned about 4 vlogs, and we used a photo of a cake as inspiration for a few skeins of yarn. A few skeins of yarn. So in the first vlog we talked about, I kind of dyed it up based on how I interpreted the photo. In the second one I did a second interpretation of it, kind of taking into account some viewer comments, but really it was just me doing a second interpretation of it. Then in the third one we dyed up some mini skeins, and then in the last one I wanted to make a third skein because I wanted to make a fade. So anyway, it was a really fun series talking all about photo inspiration, how we all kind of see these things differently. And so go check out that series. But because we just kind of did that whole long series, I like to kind of go into one-of-a-kind skeins after doing that, just to kind of take the pressure off of having something that I feel like needs, you know, a topic to talk about. So what I did today is I took a whole, you guys know I just kind of like redid my craft room here. So if you haven't checked out that video, go check it out. I kind of made it a more functional craft space for my hand-dyed business. And in doing so, one of the bins that I had in my cubes that I had beforehand was yarn that I had planned to overdye at some point. And I just never got around to overdyeing it. So when I was organizing, of course, the more yarn that I have sitting around waiting to be dyed, the less yarn I can get out to all of you guys. And so I decided to do that for today's one-of-a-kind vlog. So you guys are gonna see me dyeing up a lot of yarn. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of background on it, but I'm not gonna go through every single skein because there is a lot. I dyed up a lot of skeins, and so I'm not gonna show them all. We're not gonna analyze them all. This video today is really a true just hang out with me while I dye yarn. Really a dye with me. Stick around at the end. I'm gonna show you guys all of the skeins again. I don't even necessarily remember at this point what they all looked like in the beginning, so I couldn't even tell you. But what I will be doing is showing you guys how I'm gonna batch them together. So if you're in the Dye With Me club, I'm just gonna show all the different options, and so as I do that, that's when I'm gonna talk about them a little bit. So what you're gonna see in the Dye With Me today, again, I'm dyeing up a whole lot of skeins. I think I always had 2 pans going at once, so you guys will see that. And you'll see some skeins are larger, so I have some 100-gram skeins, and I have minis, I have 50-gram skeins, I have things all across the board. Most of it's on my sock base, but I think I have like 1 DK skein and like 1 BFL mini, so pretty much all my sock base. And some of these skeins were like in gradient sets, and it just didn't work out right. Like 2 skeins were too similar, so I pulled one from the gradient and re-dyed that skein. So some of these are from rose gold gradient, so you'll see a lot of like tan/gold skeins and pink skeins. Those are from rose gold sets. Sometimes I just threw skeins that look different, so like a pink skein, a blue skein, and a gold skein like in one pan, and did the same overdyeing over it. And sometimes I kind of based it on what the skein looked like. So again, I'll talk more about that a little bit in the video, but if you have any questions at all, definitely feel free to comment below with them or ask me them individually. So again, I'll introduce the skeins a little bit in the dyeing video, but then stick around afterwards and I'll show you them all there. If you don't know what the Dye With Me club is, it is where you can actually get these skeins. So I don't sell these skeins separately in my shop. They're only available to those in the Dye With Me club. The Dye With Me club is a really good low rate for yarn, hand-dyed yarn, and you sign up through my shop at agirlandherwool.com. It's an ongoing subscription that you can cancel anytime, and you can when you sign up, it'll automatically renew you on the 1st of every single month. And after that, I will take a previously dyed skein from a previous dye with me and send it on to you. I do take requests. They're on a first come first serve basis and no guarantee. So if you have preferences, you are more than welcome to email me at agirlandherwool@gmail.com. I do ask that you email because a lot of times people ask for the same things, and so having it in one place makes the timestamp much easier to compare. I can just kind of start at the beginning and work my way up. So yeah, without further ado, let's go over dye some yarn. Alright, so again, as I kind of mentioned, there are 2 pans going on at the same time. On the left side, I actually have a few skeins in there that were kissed at the end, which is a darker, I mean, it's not too dark, but a darker brown speckled skein. And so I kind of just went in with the dark, and you can see I'm just adding, or I did just add a few different dark tones to it, and you'll see how it kind of comes out at the end a little rainbowy. On the right hand side, you see a few different minis in there, so different colored bases, but I'm applying the same dyes to it, and you'll kind of see that throughout this dye with me that I'm going to be doing that. So moving into these next ones, the one on the left was a lighter skein, Overnight Oats, and I really just kind of kept it light. I think a little bit of blue got onto it, and so I'm just kind of going into the blue. I think I deepened up the brown a little bit actually in that one, and then just deepening up a little bit of the blue, keeping it a light skein, not overly speckled, not really too crazy, just kind of owning the mistake that happened on that skein. And then on the right side, again, it's just like a darker, that's a rose gold skein on DK. I'm going to talk about that one more at the end. It's going to change a lot, but again, it's a darker skein. I couldn't really brighten it up, so I added a lot more of the rose to it to just kind of make it a little bit more rosy, and then you'll see at the end how it kind of comes out a little bit more. All right, so moving on to more minis. On the left side, a darker skein and a lighter skein, and I do show you the comparison later on about the differences here. Just kind of added some brighter colors, and you'll see the brights really show on that light skein and not as much on the dark skein. And then on the right hand side, just making a speckly, random colored skein. We are moving quick, so if you have any questions about anything, let me know. Again, a lot of these ones, I'm just trying to use up dye bottles. You'll see I just sprayed a few bottles, so I had some dyes from the day before that I'm using up. Some of them are lighter that I can add more colors to. Some of them are darker that I can't add as many colors to. And so just kind of playing with colors, honestly, seeing how they play together. It's a fun little play experiment for me that's just a lot of fun to do.
So I do think this one on the left is pretty fun. So you can see there's a pink skein, a blue skein, and a yellowish skein. And I do a comparison of the yellow one and the pink one at the end. I don't think I realized the blue one was a part of this too. But you really get to see, so keep focus on this one and remember kind of what it looks like now for when I show you guys the skeins at the end, because the fact that the bases were so different in this really kind of changed what the final skeins looked like, even though I was adding the same dyes to it. And if this is something that you really like, this idea of using different colored bases and then seeing what the dyes look like over them, I would totally do like a video kind of devoted to what I'm doing in that left pan of seeing how like the base really changes what the final skein looks like. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. So that will do it with kind of the speed dating dye session here. Feel free to go back and watch this again if you want to see anything in more detail, but it was a lot of fun to kind of play with the colors, and you guys will see what they kind of came out like now. So stick around for that, and I'll see you there.
Alright, so as I kind of mentioned in the beginning, I don't remember which skein was what. I most certainly do not remember what order I dyed it in, but I'll try and go through this as best as I can. I'm going to show them to you guys grouped together as they will be sent out. So what I did was all of the 100-gram skeins are going to be sent out as just 100-gram skeins. What I will say is some of them are like what I'm calling 100-gram skeins are really like 95 to 100. In my shop, if you order a 100-gram skein, that means it will be at least 100 grams. I'm just saying for this dye with me, if you pick one of these 100-gram skeins, it might actually be 95 grams. So I just want to put that out there. I always say with my dye with me, it's no guarantee about like really what you get. So I don't want any confusion on that, but I also just want to put that out there. So if you have questions, let me know. If you want me to weigh a skein, let me know. I can certainly do that. So let me start with the 100-gram skein. So the first one that I did started out as a 300, and I dyed these all up the same. So I dyed these 3 100-gram skeins together, and these were started out as a 300-gram skein of Kissed at the End. What happened and why this needed to be over dyed was there was nothing wrong with the color, but actually I got the yarn caught and broke it. So it ended up being like a 297-gram skein, like something so close, but that I couldn't sell as a 300-gram skein. So ended up re-dyeing it. So this is where I'm talking about. These are probably all like 98, 99-gram skeins because it wasn't exactly 300. So anyway, it was a pretty dark skein, and I ended up going into that dark part of it. If you guys like dark, moody colors, I actually really like this color, and I might use this as an inspiration for a regular colorway, probably over the winter time. But it just has, and again, I don't remember how I dyed this, but it has all different colors of the rainbow. So you get some really deep reds, some really deep blues, golds, just all across the board. And so it's a really pretty skein. Like if you are doing, if you are looking to do like a 2-colored shawl or a 3-colored shawl and you need a dark color, I guarantee this will match a lot of colors that you are probably already planning, because it has a lot of the colors in it, and it's just going to be a really good dark contrast to a lot of the other colors. Just a really pretty color, and I feel like it's really different. That's what I love about doing these one-of-a-kind skeins, take the pressure off type of thing, because I come up with a lot of colorways that I wouldn't normally think to do. Like, I don't think that this screams a girl in her wool, but I love it, and I really want to use this as inspiration for a future colorway. So those are 3 skeins. Again, they're all on my sock base. These are all just under 100 grams each. So those are available. I want to say too, like, if let's say you wanted all 3 of these, you can also sign up for you can order multiple quantities of the club and get 2 skeins or 2 items per month. So if you like all 3 of these and you want like all 3 of them, just purchase 3 of the club and let me know that you want these 3 together, because they are, you know, the same dye lot. So that's the first set of 100 gram skeins, and again, those are all my sock base. Another 100 gram skein I have here, and I don't even, we'll see how well it shows up. This is very much overnight oats. The original skein of this was overnight oats. If you've used overnight oats, if you've seen it before, this is that. And it just ended up with a little bit of blue on it, so I had to re-dye it. Oh my gosh. You guys, I have wood floors in here, and I now have a chair in here, except I got a new table that's at table height to sit down at. And it's a chair that's on wheels, and we bought wheels that are like okay for wood floors, like they won't scratch the floors or anything, and it just means that the chair like glides a lot, like it has no friction. And so Pi just like jumped up on that chair, and like, well, now he jumped off of it, but he jumped on it and he's like slowly gliding across the room. Now of course he jumped off of it and it like ka-choomed the chair across the room. Anyway, it made me laugh how he was like slowly gliding across the room, like, what's happening? Now Nacho needs to go see why the chair is on the other side of the room. Anyway, so this is overnight oats. It's very much overnight oats, but a little bit of blue dye got on it. So instead of going crazy and colorful, I just went in on the blue and added more blue to it. So this is a really dark neutral color. This is a really light neutral color. So if you again need something to pair a good neutral with that just has a little bit of blue in it, it's a really pretty color. You guys know I love overnight oats, and so just adding like that touch of blue to it, making it a really fun like light springy neutral color that has just, you know, a bit of a light sky blue to it is just really pretty. So again, that's an 100 gram skein, give or take, on my sock base. The last 100 gram skeins, again, so if you're in the club, you would get like one of these, unless of course you ordered more subscriptions of the club. So again, these are all available individually for those in the club. So this was a 200 gram skein of a colorway called Before the Rain, and you guys are going to see that coming up in next week's shop update in a kit. And what ended up happening was, so Before the Rain is like a light gray blue color, and what ended up happening was I think it got some pink on it, so I ended up re-dyeing it. And so again, kind of just went with the whole pink feel. You can barely see the gray blue base in it, and then it just has like some of those pinks and greens in it. So again, another really pretty colorway. These again are about 100 gram skeins. It was a 200 gram skein that I broke in half, so one might be a little bit more, one might be a little bit less. And so that's that. So again, if you want both of these skeins to come together, again, they're from the same dye lot, same base that I over dyed, you can certainly do that. So you can kind of see kind of thinking through the 3 different 100-gram skeins that I overdyed, which of course look great together. But they, the way I kind of think about these overdyings is this was a really dark color. I couldn't add a bright pink to it and make this a pink skein, right? Like, you have to think about what the base is, and dark, while different colors can show on the dark, you're not going to be able to brighten it up too much. And so I kind of just went with the dark feel of it and just added a lot of different shades in color to it. With this one, again, I didn't do too much to it. It had that little bit of blue in it, so I just went with the blue feel and kind of just added it all over versus having like the random bits of blue that kind of got onto the skein by accident, but didn't really change too much of it. With such a light base like this one, I really could have done anything with it. This basically was a blank slate. We have some of those dark speckles from Overnight Oats on there, but really otherwise this was a blank slate. But I didn't want to darken everything up, so it was nice to keep some light. And then kind of the same thing here. This was like a gray blue base that we changed to like this purplish pink, and then just added some green to like add a little bit more spring feel to it. So again, this had a more neutral, both neutral bases. One I kept pretty neutral, and one I just added a bit more color, made it a fun, springy, one of a kind. And of course the dark, I went with the dark. So just some things I think about. Do I want to, like, what will show on the dark one? Not as much. On the light one, I could have basically done any one of a kind skein I wanted to, but I just kind of kept it that light neutral feel. And then of course the last one, you know, that one was like, oh, let me add some color to it. So those are the 100-gram skeins. And then we have minis and 50s and all across the board. I think some of them are 40s and 60s. So again, they all add up to about 100 grams. But if you have questions about the sizes of each one, I didn't write down the weight of all of them. But if you have questions, let me know. Okay, so I'm gonna give these like kit 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you are interested, you can let me know. So this is kit 1, a really fun, bright, springy colors here. So you can see, again, some of them I won't remember what they all started with. Some of them I might, but some I kept more tonal. You can see this one's like a really pretty tonal springy green, and then this is a really pretty tonal, like, might be getting blown out a little bit, but a really pretty light orange. And then this one here has like a little bit, this one probably started off as a light golden color from rose gold, so it kind of ties in nicely with there. But it has some of the bright purples and pinks in there. So again, a really pretty colorway, very speckly. When you knit this up, it will definitely show the blips of color. And then of course it has like the lighter neutral base. So I thought that was a really fun set. Again, everything adds up to about 100 grams. If you have any questions about the individual sizes, let me know. So that is kit 1. Kit 2 is more like blues and pinks. So I tried to like do things that kind of coordinated together. Kit 1, again, those are all sock based. So this one has, again, this probably had a very similar, so this is this one. So red, blues, that's kind of the feel of this one. So if you love blues and reds, this is a great one. So again, this one had a light tan base, but instead of doing pinks, we did some reds and blues. Again, a speckly, variegated, fun colorway. And then these ones probably got dyed up together. I think this one has like a pink base with some of those reds and blues on top of it. The top one is a BFL, is a BFL skein. The bottom one's a sock skein. And then this is another BFL skein that is just a much darker reddish color. This one, I remember what I ended up doing with this one was kind of, maybe it wasn't this one. Yeah, I can't say it was this one, never mind. But this one has just like different shades of the pink in it and the dark. And so it's a darker version of some of the others, but definitely still has like those reds in there. So good Scrappy yarns for sure. So that was kit number 2. Kit number 3, one of the skeins, this is the one that I was just thinking of for the other one. So again, more springy colors with a little bit of a darker one. So this one, I had a pink base to it, and I remember what I decided to do was just kind of breathe into the pink and just add a little bit more to it to make it more textured. So I talked about that a lot, where you kind of have different tones of the same color, and it just adds like a little bit of depth to it to make a little bit more interest in the yarn. So this was a pink base, kind of worked in some of that pink. It's showing up as a bright red. It's not really a bright blood red. It looks like a blood red. It's a deep pink. You know, I think my lights help, but I don't know. Maybe I need to. It's also not the morning. It's nighttime. It's nighttime, but it's after daylight savings, so it's still light out. It's like 6 o'clock. It's not a red. It's more of a pink. So that is that. And then again, more green, a springy green, and then I think this one, kind of comparing it back to this one, so I think these two were dyed together. This one is probably had a pink base, and this one had a light tan base. So you can kind of see how dyeing with the same orange and yellow kind of played into those two different colors. In this one, you get more of like the hot colors, you know, not like it's definitely a yellow orange, and then here it almost makes it very much a cooler color, and very springy because it has like the pink with just the speckles of the orange and yellow. So I thought that was a fun color as well, and because it's like makes it more cool, you kind of get the matching and the cool colors there. I think this one was a blue base that I just added some green to. So that's kit number 3. We have 2 more. So kit, again, we dyed up a lot. So this is a DK skein, and I think it's a 60-gram DK skein. So this is kind of similar to the idea of the first one, where actually I ended up dyeing this one off camera. So what I was doing was, because I had a lot to dye and I wanted to keep things moving, I had the 2 pans that you guys saw me dyeing in, and then when all the yarn when all the dye was on the yarn, but I still needed it to like heat in the pan and set, I moved it to a different burner off camera. And while this one was setting, I decided I wasn't done with it yet. I didn't like it completely, so I apologize that you didn't see all of this, but this was the one that started out as rose gold. And I just added, I think, more of the rose to it at first, just to kind of like bring that out. But I just didn't love it, and I ended up adding like a dark blue to it. So like a dark navy blue. So kind of similar to the first skein. It's darker than it's showing there, but you can see all the different colors at least. You do get a lot of like purples and blues and gold in there. It's a really pretty skein. Again, not one that I would necessarily do, but it worked out really nicely. So that is the first one in that kit. Again, it's a 60-gram DK. These are some sock yarn minis. So again, similar dyeing to this last green one I showed you, except a difference in the base. I think this was a skein that actually was not dyed, that I did not over dye. So it's actually a good comparison. So this one had a blue base to it, which you can see a lot of the blue stick out in there. This one was just a white skein that got in the pile, but I ended up dyeing it up. So you can see how applying the same dyes on a white skein versus on a deeper base vary there. But the lighter one is the one in this kit. So we have that dark DK skein, a brighter springy mini, and then another pink with some various pinks on there. This one's the same as one of the other ones I showed you already. Maybe not, maybe not. Maybe it's just its own one. So that's kit 4 with the DK. And then this last one is all various sock weight yarns. This is kind of a more miscellaneous, if you are doing a scrappy blanket, these are some good mystery minis to get in there. This is probably like a 40-gram skein, and these are probably all 20s. So this first one, I think by the looks of it, it probably had I don't know, either the light rose or the light, must be a light rose, and then kind of similar, oh yeah, it is like this here. This is what the base color looked like, and then just added again some of those purples to it. So I think comparing it, it was dyed with this one, again kind of comparing a light base to a darker base with the same dyes on top of it. Let me show this side and how that varies. So adding the bright pink, adding the dark purple, it just is two completely different colorways on top. And then we have, again, kind of using those orange and yellow dyes on something that had blue on it, or I added a little bit of extra blue to it. And then this is one similar to the beginning where we added a bit of pink and a bit of green to it. So that is that one. So a lot of the base, so let me just show that. So this was the last kit, kit 5. Oh, and I didn't show this one. So this was, again, another darker skein. I think I had to reskein this one. So you can see the colors are a bit jumbled up, but again, that same like greens, and so you can see like the same greens and pinks got onto there. I just reskeined it so the colors are all jumbled up. So again, 20-gram minis, if you have a project that you want some 20-gram minis, or you want to hold on to them for some heels, cuffs, or toes, you can do that. If you're doing a Boxing Day shawl, you can add it to that. And then this is a 60 or a 40-gram skein that you can also add as a contrast when you just need a little bit of yarn. So those are the one-of-a-kinds we dyed up today. I hope it was fun. Again, very different dye with me before because we didn't really talk about a certain topic. I didn't really analyze these all too much. I guess I did a little bit here at the end, but yeah, a lot of fun. Again, days like that are just so much fun for me to play with. And again, I take pictures of it all, so that way when I'm trying to think of new colorways and things like that, when there's one that I really like, I can kind of look back at it and do the same thing, which is really fun. So if you are in the Dye With Me club and one of those kind of stuck out to you, let me know and I will happily put you on the list for it. Again, I can't make any guarantees, but I can take it into account for sure. Otherwise, you kind of will just get a random bundle, whether it's a 100-gram skein or one of the bundles of smaller skeins. And again, they're all about 100-gram skeins, give or take. So your last option is skein number 4, or skein number 3 from the cake. Everything else is already gone. But I have the 3 skeins that we dyed up earlier this month. The last colorway from the cake photo, which is so pretty. I might have to make it a regular colorway, we'll see. But just really blue purple color with pink speckles on there. And I have 1 skein of BFL sock, 1 skein of DK, and 1 skein of sock. So if you want it, be quick about it. So maybe not, maybe no one wants these, I don't know. So anyway, if you're not in the Dye With Me Club, definitely consider joining. Those in the Dye With Me Club are definitely helping keep these videos coming. It really helps me be able to dye up the yarn to show you guys, dye up larger quantities, dye up on various bases. So if you haven't joined, please consider doing so if you do like these videos. Again, it's a really great deal for the yarn. I don't charge for shipping within the US, so it's definitely a good deal for yarn, and I will have it linked below. So that will do it for the Dye With Me today. Again, I know that was a little bit of like, here's what I have to offer for the Dye With Me Club, but that was the best way I could think to organize that. If you have any questions, again, let me know. Hey everyone, so I did not leave a segue in the video to insert this clip, but here I am announcing the giveaway for everyone who participated in the cake series. So if you commented on any of the 4 videos, any and all of the 4 vlogs from that series, you were entered into a giveaway to win my Rainbow Club, which is a 3-month club that launches this Friday. So signups will begin then, and it will renew on the 10th of each month. So on the 10th of each month, I will, or the days after the 10th of the month, I will send out a skein of yarn to you if you join this Rainbow Club. So all the details will be on Friday. Just go check that out. But all of your comments from the 4 Dye With Me vlogs in the cake series were entered to win. So I put them all into a random number generator, counted my way through the comments, and what I will say first is the way this is gonna work is, I'm pretty sure I'll hear from this winner, but if I don't, how it will work is like, you'll have until, like, I'm not gonna keep picking winners, so you'll have until the 10th when like the subscription starts to kind of claim your prize here. And if you see this after the 10th, then just let me know and you'll start with the 2nd shipment. And then if I don't hear from you, then it'll start with the 1st shipment, and so on and so on. So I just wanted to kind of make that clear, but I do expect to hear from this winner, which is good. Again, it was randomly selected, but the winner is Rachel O'Connor, who is Creative Yarnaholic. So Rachel, please send me an email that you've heard this prize, and I'll get you set up for the club. So congratulations, and again, thank you all so much for participating. There were a lot of great comments, a lot of great conversations, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys all did too. So let's head back to the video. It will probably just be a clip saying bye, but let's head there and wrap up today's Dye With Me. So this Friday I will be doing a day in the life with me, and I filmed, well, for me it's a feature, but I filmed on Monday, which I had the day off and it was Yarn Club Day. So I did a whole behind the scenes of putting together the yarn clubs. So if you are curious about that, feel free to check that out. I want full disclosure that you may or may not have received your Mystery Yarn Club shipment yet. So if you don't want that spoiled, don't watch the video because I will have spoilers of it. Otherwise, go check that out. And then don't forget, next Friday, so 1 week from Friday, I will be doing a new shop update with so many spring colors, and I'm tempted to spoil one of them here because you guys are all Dye With Me watchers. Should I spoil it or should I tease you more? I think I'm just gonna tease it. You guys have to wait till next Friday. So the shop update will be next Friday at 10 a.m. And then that evening at 5 p.m. I'll have a video just like this where I run through everything in the shop. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of those videos. I also have the Rainbow Club. The details for that will be announced in the Day in the Life. So if you want to hear about the Rainbow Club, check out the Day in the Life on Friday. And then it will be posted in the shop so you can sign up for those too. I'm excited about it. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.